Hey, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. Today we have another puzzle in front of us from Megan033. It is another Fog of War. Now, Megan033 has multiple groupings of puzzles that work as like series. This is one of them. We've done one of these before. We've done, I think, ones from the others as well in bits and pieces. Don't plan on doing all of them, obviously, because there's a list of them. I just don't have the capability to go through all of them, at least not in a recording process. But we're going to get into this one because we haven't done one of these in quite a while. I think this is actually the first one that has been posted in this particular series in some time, a few months, I think it is. So look like a good time to pick this one back up and see if we can figure it out. So what do we got going? So it's called Zippopotamus Through the Fog. Now this is the Zipper in the Fog series. If you didn't see that, again, by Megan033. Let's roll through these rules and see what's going on and then get going on this thing. So it's normal Sudoku. So every row, column, and 3x3 box will contain the digits 1 through 9 once each. The grid is partially covered with fog. Placing correct digits will clear the fog around that cell. No guessing is required. So this is standard fog, which is normally what Megan033 puzzles have. So if we were to figure out this digit, this fog here will clear because it's in the vicinity of this guy, and so on and so forth. And hopefully you'd find some more clues you can work with as the fog clears. Now, there is one and only one purple zipper line, along with which each pair of digits that are the same distance from the line's central cell, indicated by a filled purple circle, must sum to the digit in that central cell. So a lot of words to say that this digit is what these two add to, what those two add to, what those two add to. Because this is the factor, if you will, of where we're working towards, and then everything equidistant from this point going in both directions is going to be what adds to this. Then we also have Kropkis, and those seem to be the only other variant here that we have. So a black dot between cells indicates cell values with a 2-to-1 ratio. So these guys will be in that 2-to-1 ratio, or one will be double the other. And a white dot between cells indicates cells with consecutive values. So these guys here will be consecutive, 2, 3, 5, 6, whatever. And then not all dots are given. So with that said, we have a sip of coffee and we'll get at this guy. Link is in the description below. Let's get at it. Okay, so we're going to have to figure out how to get started. I think the best place is here, because we think about what this grouping of the black Kropkis is. Obviously, we have only the 1, 2, 4, and 8 that can go on this. We can't do the 3 6s. So if we put 1, 2, 4, 8 in here, we're going to know that you can't be the 1 or the 8, first off. And what else are we going to know? We're going to know that these two, of course, are going to add to this value, and these two are going to add to this value. And we know there's a 2 and a 4 on here. So we're starting to at least push this guy. Now, we know this can't be a 1 either, because these would both be 2s. So if we get rid of that 1, I think that gets rid of the 4 here, right? 4, yeah, this can't be a 4. And what does that tell us is the question. What if this was, can this ever be an 8 is what I'm trying to find out, because of what these do. If this is an 8, now you can't put a 9 on a zipper line, because there's no way to add 9 with some other digit to get to a single digit. So this would have to be a 7. It would have to pair with whatever the heck this is. But if this is an 8, that's a 4, and that's a 2, this would have to be a 7, 1, because we can't use 7, 2, because the 2's are already used. Well, 7, 1 equals 8, but we just said this was 8, so that's not going to be an 8. So no 8s. This is a 2, 4 pair. Okay, now I think we still can do the 1 or the 8 here. Yeah, because this could be 2, 4, 8, or 4, 2, 1. And I guess we could still have an 8 here, because this could be the 8 to go with the 1 to make this a 9. Can we get over to here and maybe remove those options in any way? Because if this is a 2, this could be 1 or 3. Oop, get on the right thing. And if it's 4, it could be 3 or 5. Now, what else can we say? Okay, I just looked over here and we can say some more things. What happens if this is an 8? Well, this has to be a 1, which is fine. That will work to get us to 9. But this would be a 4. Well, how do you get 4 with some other digit to equal the 9? Well, it would have to be a 4 with a 5. You can't put a 5 on a black Kropki. This cannot be an 8. It's 1, 2, 4. That 4 says you're not a 1. Now, what are you? Let's keep thinking about what these can be. Or do we just think about this black Kropki and then come to the conclusion? Let's think about the black Kropki a little further, because then we'll get another factor we can put into this. This obviously can't be 1, 2, or 2, 4. So it's going to be from 3, 6, or 4, 8. You obviously can't be a 4, though. So this is either 3, 6, or 8, and there's no way in heck it can be an 8, because it would have to be an 8, 2, and this would have to be 10. So this is just a 3, 6 pairing. Now let's think about how these guys work together, because these, again, will have to add to whatever this is. What if this is a 3? Well, that's a 2, and this is a 5. What do you put over here? You can't put anything. This is the 6. This is the 3. Now we know it's a 6 plus a 2 to equal the 8. So we now have our guiding light, if you will. Now, you and you have to add to 8, so you're 7. You and you have to add to 8, so you are a 3, 5 pair. You are the 9. I guess you could have also just thought generally about where the 9 would go, but then you couldn't quite remove this option until you went through these guys. But we're now going, and we're on the way here. So let's start continuing through. Let's start here first, because we can actually get a limitation here, then we can move over to here. If this is a 3, this is either a 2 or a 4. If this is a 2 or a 4, this has to either be a 6 or a 4. Well, either one could still work. What does that do about this? Because now this becomes 3, 5, or 7, and this will have to correlate. This can't be a 5 because it forced this to be a 3 to have 2 3s. If it's a 3, this has to be a 5, and if it's a 7, this has to be a 1. Okay, we're still rolling. Can we determine something because of these groupings of Kropkis because of what this option is now? I think we can start putting these guys together, because if this is a 1, this has to be a 2, and this has to be a 3. If this is a 5, it cannot go down to a 4, so it has to go to the 6 and the 7. So we do actually get a 3-7 pair there, which is sort of interesting, I guess. The question becomes, though, how do we use that to our advantage? Or do we have to step into the next line here? Good question. Let's think about it for a second. Or is there some organization of what these are that breaks this? Let's do that first. What if this is a 1? Well, this would have to be a 7, right? This would be 2, 3. That would be 7. This would be the 6. This would have to be the 2, but we just said this is a 2. Let's make sure we're right on that one. That's a 1, 2, 3. The 1 pairs with the 7. The 7 gets with the 6. The 6 has to pair with the 2, but this is a 1, 2. Yeah, this is not right. This is 5. 6 and 7. That forces this to be the 3, which forces you to be the 4, which forces you to be the 4. Okay, now we've got more information to work with, so let's just keep rolling down this line. Let's put these guys in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8. You're not 6, so you're not 3. You're not 3, so you're not 6. You're not 4, so you're not 8. You're not 4, so you're not 8. All right, so let's see how that works. This can't be 1 because you can't put 2 2s. And what else? You can't be a 2 because of that grouping. Is there something cutting across here that doesn't work? If that's an 8, that has to be a 7, which forces you to be a 1, but that's fine. If you're a 6, you could be, well, you can't be 5 because you can't put a 3 over here, but you could again be a 7 with the 1. Oh, this can't be a 1 either, by the way. Just noticing that because of that guy, which means you can't be the 2 either. But let's keep rolling with this one. If it's a 2, you could be a 1 with a 7, or it's just a 1. This is just a 1-7 pair. is what that's telling us. Because we just said the 8 and the 6, the only things that work is if we have a 1-7 pair. The 2, the only thing that works is a 1-7 pair. Now, how do we work through those? Is there some breakage of one of these guys? What if that's a 1? Wait, this can't be a 1. Yeah, because this has to be a 1-7 pair, we're now starting to get into these. Neither one of these can be 1s. Because no matter what we do here, we're pushing the 1s and the 7s. These are not 1s. So you... no, I guess we know one of you is a 2, right? Because it has to pair with the 1. Can we pair the other one? Whether it be it has to be a 6, because this is a 3-4 pair. So one of these two is going to be a 6. Okay. We get a 2-6, we get a 3-4. Can we use this guy here to now figure out what this can be? Because what can you be? If it's a 3, this is a 4 and a 2. 3 doesn't work, period. I was going to start saying, let's just put the options in, but we can see it right away. If you put a 3 here, this has to be a 4, and this has to be a 2. What do you pair with the 3? Nothing. 4. 2, 1, 7, 6, 3. There's a big ol' windfall. The 4 has to pair with a 5. And we still don't want to break these guys up, but hey, that's fine. Now, do we start thinking about these pairs? Or we start thinking about the Kropki? Let's think about the pair for a second. Because it has to add 8. It can't be 1-7. It can't be 2-6. So the only thing it can possibly be is either a 3-5 or a 4-4, and it can't be a 4-4. So it's a 3-5, where this is the 3. This is the... I broke this. What did I do? Hold on. Let me back up on that one. These two have to add to 8. I must have just missed an option here, and I'm just brain farted there for a second. Oh no, we could put a 1-7. I'm thinking I'm in the wrong... My bad. They could be 1-7 or 3-5. You are... For some reason, I thought we had both of these looking at one of these guys, and that's not the case. Okay, you can't be the 5, which means you can't be the 3. You can't be the 7, which means you can't be the 1. Okay, we're back on track. Now let's try to use these other guys to figure out which one it is. If it's a 3, it breaks. Okay, so there's the solution there. We just kind of did a little goof there and got ahead of ourselves. That is a 7. You then have to either be a 6 or an 8. 7 says you are the 1. Okay. That's fine. Moving on from... Do we think about you two now? Because now we can't do a 1-7. We could do a 6-2 in a certain way. We could... No, we can't do a 3-5 because this guy's seen by a 3 and a 5. And we can't do a 4-4 because this guy is seen by the 4. This is 6 and 2. Thank goodness that actually cleared. You are 8. Okay, now do we start thinking about some rows and columns because we're getting pretty narrow in what can go where? 1s, 5s, and 9s. I don't think that tells us much. You're not a 5, you're not a 1, but that's about it. Okay, worth a look. I guess we have to go to the next line. Or maybe we'll switch over to a Sudoku setting. Let's switch over to Sudoku. Where does the 1 go? It goes here. Why did I hit an 8 on this one? This is just a 5-9 pair now. What are you 3? 5, 8, 9? You're not 5. And the 5 here says you are the 9 and the 5, so let's put those in. That'll finally get us our 3-5. Whether that helps us, I don't know. Is there something on this guy that tells us anything? Can't be 1, could be 2, can't be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 8. 2 or 9, not quite. What are you guys? You're 2, 3, and 9. Let's just put those in, get rid of the 9 there. Let's go back to you, I guess, then. Let's rethink what can be what. It could be a 1, 7. It cannot be a 2, 6. It cannot be a 3, 5. It cannot be a 4, 4. It is 1, 7, which means you are 7. Get on the right page here. And you are 1. Okay, we've got a black Kropki that's finally popped up here. Let's think about the options again and see if that Kropki is going to help us. Okay. 1, 7 is still possible. Yes, it is, even with the Kropki. 2, 6 is not, because there's a 6 looking at each of these. 3, 5 is not, because there's 5s looking at both of these. This one actually has a 3 and a 5 looking at it. And then 4, 4. Now, both of those, 4, 4 could work, and the 1, 7 could work in this orientation. Let's see if this Kropki helps us. If that's a 1, this is a 2. That would work. If this is a 4, this is a 2 or an 8. I almost said 5 there because my brain stopped functioning properly. This could be 2 or 8. That seems like all of that will be fine. So let's maybe jump into Sudoku again, see if there's something popped out at us we can work with. 1s, or 1 over there, one of those. One of those is a 2. I don't like that too much. One of those is a 2. One of those 3. We might have to go to the next line, but I figured it's a good place to at least stop and look at the 3s for a second. So there's 1s and 3s over here. There's a 4 over here I'm noticing as well. Well, actually, let's do, what are these 2 digits? They are 4 and 9. That didn't actually tell me much, did it? What are these digits? 2, 8, and... Okay, there we go. 2, 8, 9. You can't be 8 or 9. You are 2, which means you're not. You have to be 8 and 9, so this is the 8. You are the 9. Good. This is better. I like this more. These have to be from 2 and 6. You have to be from 4, 7, and 3. You can't be 7. All right, let's maybe continue going on this route then. You have to be 5, 7, 8. We're not going to get much here, but I'm just going to put them in because we have it. And you had to be from 1, 3, and 6. Okay. Okay, let's get back to what we were doing on the Sudoku. I think we stopped around the 4s. Okay, let's go to 5s for a second. Up there, not great. Not great, not great. 6s, 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 no. We might be at the... Nope, we can get a 7 right there. That's something at least. Not enough down there. Let's just get these 8s and 9s sorted, or at least try to get some options in before we move back into what we were doing. One of those is a 9. Okay, let's get back onto this line. What can these be? Can't be 1, 7, because these guys see... This one is seen by both of them. Can't be 2, 6, because this one's seen by both of them. Can't be 4, 4, so they are going to be a 3, 5 pair. Except neither one of these is seen by a 3 or a 5. Okay. Let's start putting these guys in. We're going to have to find something in here where we've got something that'll break this apart. 2, 8, and 9. You're not 9. You're not 2. Okay. What else can we do? This one was going to be the 2, 5, 8, 9. Or 5, 8, 9 because we can't put a 2. You guys, we need a 1 and a 4 down here. The other digit is from 2, 8, or 9. I don't like any of that stuff. There has to be a 3 down here. And there has to be a 6. And you're not a 6. That's interesting. if somewhat not entirely helpful. We've used all our clues, right? Just want to make sure we have. Okay. Do we think about some of these other guys? Maybe there is some other digit that's restricted here that's going to give us what we need. Because we need 1, 4s, and whatever is left from 8 and 9. You're not 1, you're not 8, you're not 9. Not great. You have to be 2, 5, 6, and 8. You're not 2 or 6. You're not 5 or 8. That was almost something there. But not quite. And I don't see any trips or pairs or something along those lines that are telling us what we need. Okay. So where the heck are we going from there? Is this supposed to look like a hippopotamus, by the way? I'm curious. Don't know. Didn't really think about that title too much after I read it, but... Okay, we're going to have to find something in here we can start working with. We've used every clue except for this one, but I don't think we can say much about it, because I don't think there's a problem with this being a 1-2 pair. That would put a 1-2, put the 9 up here. This would just be some 5-8 grouping. It doesn't affect those. A 4-2 doesn't really seem to affect anything. And the 4-8 isn't enough to break anything up either, so I don't see how that works. What about these guys in conjunction looking across? This would be the 1, this would be the 7. One of those would be a 1. I don't see anything there. Well, we know this is a 3-5 pair, right? So any cell that they both see can't be a 3 or a 5, which means you can't be a 3, and you can't be a 5, which means you are a 5 because of the column now. Okay, that's helpful. So that 2, 8, 9 there, 2, 8, 9, 8, 9 pair. So we know what these actually are now. These are 3, 5, and 6. Let's get rid of some of these markings, clean things up as we go. And we just go right back to what we were saying, 3s and 5s. This can't be 3 or 5. It is the 6. So you're not a 6. Good, now we have more that we can work with. This is perfect. I was starting to feel like we were running out of things to do. Let's start thinking about you. You are from the 1, 2, 4, 8 grouping. You can't be 1 or 8. You can't be a 2. So you can't be an 8. And actually, we don't even have an 8, so that's even easier. Let's just put the 2 right here, and this will be a 1-4 pair. And that 1-4 is going to tell us you're a 9, you're a 3, you're a 3, you're a 2, you're a 6. So this is all going to break apart now, right? You can't be 2, you can't be 6. That's a 5-8 pair, so you are the 4, you are the 1. That 1-4 is still there. The 3 comes back and says 5. Now that 5, okay, that's the end of our zipper line. I didn't even notice that as we were clearing the stuff up. That means you are now the 3, the 5, the 8, not 5 or 8, so 7 and 5. And you're not 3, you're not 6. 1, 7, anything else cutting across here? Okay. We'll have to figure out how to get these last guys in. It's probably down to Sudoku now at this stage, so maybe we jump over after we do our 5, 8, 5, which gives us the 2, 9, 8, 9, 8. So that 9 actually is, it does keep going though. That's the 8, that's the 2. This could still be a 1 or a 4, by the way. But this is a 1-4 pair, so that's the 9-4. This becomes what? 1, 4, 9? You're not 4. 1, 3, 4, 9, 1, 4. Well, the 1, 4 continues the process. You're a 6. You're not. Again, get out of here. These two have to be what? Because we might be able to use that with this guy. There has to be an 8, so it goes here, first off, and there has to be a 7, so it goes here. That's going to tell us this is a 4, which means you are the 4. Now you have to be our 7. You can't be the 4 anymore. you're a given. What are you? I think it's a 9. Does appear to be. That's going to tell us the 1s and the 9s, the 3 and the 1, the 4 and the 1, the 6 and the 3. There we go. Cool. We got through it. Very fun. That 3-5 there was kind of an interesting thing. Glad I saw it when I did, because I could have been stuck there for a little while. But yeah, once we got that little bit of clear and this guy popped open, and we were able to just easily finalize that guy. So cool. As always, an excellent Fog of War from Megan033. Hope you all enjoyed that one. And as usual, looks more like a horse's mouth, doesn't it? Like this is the nose, that's the jaw. He's looking up like that. That's what I see. Let me know. Hope you all enjoyed this one. We'll see you in the next one. Thanks a lot.